Hello everybody. I was just informed that there was no sound, so I'll just start over. I hope you can all hear me now. This is the WorkPoint 365 Email Manager 365 webinar. The agenda for the day is a little bit about the company behind WorkPoint, then the concept of the application WorkPoint 365, and then the Email Manager 365, which I assume most of you are here to hear and see. We'll end with a short demo of the functionality of Email Manager 365 and sum it all up. Those of you who know WorkPoint already might have a bit of a refresher of WorkPoint and the products, and hopefully that will work out as well. Now, just shortly, I am Asger Steffensen. I'm partner in WorkPoint. Should you feel the need to contact me afterwards for questions or anything, please do so. My contact details are here. We will record this webinar and we will distribute the video afterwards. WorkPoint, the company WorkPoint is founded in 1995. We are a Microsoft partner, a Microsoft Gold partner, independent software vendor, and we've been working with SharePoint since 2003. WorkPoint product and Email Manager product on-premise saw the day of light in 2007. We have a AAA credit rating, so we're going to stay here. We're a very healthy company in that matter. We are currently located in three offices in Denmark, and we have an international resale and partner channel. We're around 40 resellers, partners around the world today, and it's growing. Last year we were awarded with the Microsoft Partner Award for the ISV of the Year, and also we were featured in CIO Review as one of the 20 most promising SharePoint solution providers in 2015. We have for a couple of years been a member of the Business Critical SharePoint Partner Program from Microsoft, run out of Redmond, and with the select few partners that are invited into this specific program. It only takes Microsoft partners who have a very high standard of working with SharePoint and can make critical solutions. So we believe that we know something about SharePoint and Office 365. Now, for those of you who don't know, what is WorkPoint 365? WorkPoint 365 is a turnkey solution for collaborating, managing all the what we call soft data, the things that are not in the ERP system, emails, documents, of course, but all the processes around collaboration in an organization. And emails, while people have been saying for quite a few years now that emails is the communication of the past, people are chatting and they're using social media, etc., and that is true. They are, but if you look at the world, you still have an enormous amount of email going and coming every day in your mailbox. So emails are still a very important communication way of communicating, and hence there is a need for managing these often important information in the emails. So that's what WorkPoint and Email Manager 365 can do. We're basing the product on SharePoint Online. It can be installed and ready to use in an hour, so that's pretty quick for a full running application on SharePoint Online. We have integrated it very heavily with Microsoft Office, so the user can work in the Office interface doing everything he needs to do, and it's a very familiar and easy to use interface. So for WorkPoint 365, the benefit of using it is it creates structure. Creates structure on the SharePoint setup. It creates structure on all the cases, the projects, HR, whatever you're working with in your business can be modeled into WorkPoint, either by using the standard modules that are out of the box or having your reseller, your partner, create special modules for you. It's very easy to share emails and to collaborate across the organization using specifically emails, as we're focusing on here, but also documents and other things. So it can do a lot of things. We're only focusing on a few things here. Just to set the to get the concept completely mapped out now. In our world, there are three ways of working with SharePoint. You can install your SharePoint and use the out-of-the-box functionality and the configuration tools to configure a solution for meeting the organization's needs. Typically, we say you hit somewhere between 60 and 80% of the target. You will have situations where you simply do not have the tools in SharePoint to do what you want. In those cases, people tend to say, okay, well, let's hire some programmers and get them to build something customized on top of SharePoint, which is definitely something that'll give you a system that's very close to the business needs. But of course, it comes at a cost in terms of time and development costs, and of course also need to be supported. So it's more complex, more risky, typically it takes much longer time, and it costs more money. WorkPoint is a standard solution built with modules. We have a set of standard modules, and we have a configuration tool that can be used for configuring modules that specifically suits your organization's need. We have been very focused on having a solution that can be built by a business consultant, not by a developer or a programmer. We do not want to have a lot of development work. We do not want to have technical discussions. We want to have a consultant that can help and talk to the users, understand the business and model the business, and then build it using the standard features in WorkPoint, or configure new modules that can be used for the solution. Using this approach, we have a much easier way to achieve what we want, a business solution that suits the need, and also on a shorter time frame and keeping within the time frame, and also keeping on budget. To understand WorkPoint, it's important to understand the idea of the modules that sits in a hierarchy, and I'll give an example here. If you look at a WorkPoint solution, it could look like this with four modules, like company module, a contact, a project, and a project review module. This is the hierarchy that it could be sitting in. It doesn't have to be like that. You could very easily have, say, projects in the top, and then reviews and company underneath, or not have companies at all, maybe just projects and HR, etc. But you have a number of modules sitting in a hierarchy like this. A module in WorkPoint is a SharePoint list and SharePoint sites that are the building blocks. Looking at this setup, you would have a company module with a list of companies, each of them having a company site. Same with the contact, project, and review modules. They will have a list with sites on it. Each module have a template or a master site, which is the basis for creating new elements in the module. So if I'm creating a new project, I would simply, by pushing a button, create a copy of the template for the project. Now, when you're looking further down, under each of the sites, in this case a company, you would have underlying lists for example, contacts and projects, which would be elements from the other modules that are connected and visible in this specific company site. Also, you will have normal content in emails, documents, events, notes, assignment, or other things that you want your system to be designed with. These are just the out-of-the-box elements. And of course, these are the things you're working with on an everyday basis as a user, all the tasks, the documents, etc., that you need to work with. So this is the way the WorkPoint is structured and built. Looking from this very theoretical view and into the actual WorkPoint, you will have a setup like this, and this you will see it's a cutout from Outlook, where you have the WorkPoint Express Outlook integration or Office integration. If you look at this right-hand pane from the top, you will see that I have selected the company module. I have, under the company module, I'll see the list of company sites, and I have opened the Mollis Foundation company. I can see contacts, documents, email, etc. under this until I get down to the project module, where again I have a list of projects that are connected to the Mollis Foundation. Under each project I have a site, and the project site will again contain documents, emails, etc. I could further go down in the hierarchy here if I had more modules, but this is how the real WorkPoint would look when you have this hierarchy. In the below window you see the emails that are selected in the top window, and these are the mails that could be auto-journalized by the Email Manager 365. From the other side, you can look at the same project from the browser. In the browser environment, WorkPoint looks like this. Here you have a product process optimization, the same project as I had looked at through the Outlook, and in the bottom of the side you will see the email tab with all the emails, which are exactly the same emails as I looked in from the Outlook. Now, this is just a brush up on the WorkPoint concept. Those of you who are familiar with WorkPoint, you've probably been very bored until now. Hopefully this will be more interesting. For those of you who didn't know WorkPoint, then we have more information on WorkPoint itself on the workpoint365.com. Email Manager 365. In WorkPoint we have had for years the Email Manager, the Email Manager component automatically journalizing emails into WorkPoint. With the cloud gaining ground, we had the need to create a new setup where you would still be able to auto-journalize your emails, but since you wouldn't have an Exchange on-premise or you wouldn't have a SharePoint on-premise, you need to store those emails somewhere else. So for that matter, we chose Azure as the platform for storing emails. I've made a little schematic here to illustrate what is actually happening. Now, if you remember the slides we just looked at, you had WorkPoint 365 in the browser. Basically, you can think of that as a box sitting on top of the SharePoint Online box, providing functionality and the modules for the WorkPoint system. Next to that, you have the WorkPoint Express integrated into the Office 365, all the Office environment, Outlook, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, etc. And these two, of course, are looking at the same data. All the data are stored in the SharePoint Online tenant, but you can look at them and work with them through either the browser interface or the WorkPoint Express Office interface. For the Email Manager, we have set up a database in an Azure tenant. This Azure tenant can be your own Azure tenant. It could be your partners, Microsoft partners tenant, or it could be WorkPoint, our own Azure tenant. Of course, it will be your database. It will be your storage. Just a matter of where you host it doesn't really matter. WorkPoint can work with it anyway. But you would look at your data in SharePoint Online or in Email Manager 365 through the same interface as you do just with WorkPoint. That is the browser or the Microsoft Office. But the Email Manager database is actually stored in a different place. So what actually happens is that whenever an email is coming into the Exchange server, even before it hits the user's inbox, there will be made a copy, and this will be stored in the Email Manager database. So this means that, of course, the user will not be able to either on purpose or accidentally delete the email. It will always be backed up, be copied before it hits the user inbox, and then made available through the WorkPoint 365 interface. So what's the benefit of this? Well, it makes it very easy to share emails and collaborate because all emails will automatically be available for collaboration. Obviously, you would come to a point where you need some kind of security on this. Not everybody should see all emails, but there are tools for that and setting up security in Email Manager. So you never lose an email. They're all stored in Azure, even if somebody deliberately try to delete it, it cannot be done because the user would not have access to delete anything in the Email Manager database. For those organizations working with a mandatory filing of emails, you will remove the human error factor because it will always be stored under the person that sent it or received it or both. And you would have the ability of working smarter and better if somebody is not available, and somebody would usually the situation could be that a client call in or a supplier or something referring to an email sent a way back to somebody, and this person, somebody is not available. He could be on holiday, he could be sick, be in a meeting, whatever, but the matter is urgent. Now, with Email Manager, you can easily look up that mail, you can search it, you can find it, and then you can see what's in the mail, and you can deal with the matter for the person who calls. Very simple example, but it's something that a lot of people experience every day. Also, of course, a more serious matter is where you have a legal dispute with, say, a competitor or a client or a supplier, and the documentation you need is in an email. You know it will be in your company because it will be backed up and copied by Email Manager 365, no matter what the user have done. If somebody has forgot to file it, it can still be found. Well, to illustrate a little bit how Email Manager 365 works, I've created a few small demos on our video demos on our demo environment, and we'll take a look at this now. This mail is from me. It's already tagged with a green color because it's automatically journalized. Email Manager does that when it's stored in the Email Manager. In the bottom of your inbox and the mail, you will be able to see what journal, where is this actually stored. It's stored in WorkPoint under the company knowledge dynamics and the person, Asger Steffensen. Now, to find it in WorkPoint, if I'm not the user who have actually received it, but I want to find the mail, any user would be able to look up the company in the company module, go down and look either under the contacts. There is a contact here with my email, and he can here see all the mails that has been sent to or from this person. The contact is sitting under the company, so the company email tab would have the unity of all the emails from all the contacts. Now there's only one contact here, so there's only the same amount of mails, but had there been 10 people in this company, that would have much more emails under the company tab. In the browser interface, it's pretty much the same environment. You search for your company, you open the site, and you go to the Email Manager pane. Here you have the same mails as you just looked at. You have a few other tools, so you can filter, you can, if you have thousands of mails, obviously you need to be able to sort it, and you can make a quick preview. If I create a case, because this is automatically journaled on the company level, and sometimes I need to, often actually, I need to journal a mail on the case. This could also be, of course, a project or anything else, any other element of a module in WorkPoint. Now, the case has been created, and I can go to the site. Now I want to find the case in WorkPoint Express. Since I have my email in the Outlook, I'll want to drag and drop my email to this specific case. This is the manual journaling. So you have two kinds of journaling in Email Manager. But I'll get a different color, a different tag in my inbox when I'm journaling. And you can see in the bottom also that there's now two journals marked in this email. So I have automatically journaled and manually journaled my email. What actually is happening in the system is that I'm not taking another copy of the email. I'm simply making a pointer in the database. So this email will be in only one copy, but there will be a pointer to both the contact person, the company, and the case where this mail is visible. So this would be how you journal a mail from your inbox to a case, a specific case. Let's look at another example. I will then, as another user, for example, could go down and find this mail and open it. I want to reply this. And in the process, I also want this mail to be filed. Set this back. Too many S's. And now I'll get this little pop-up that'll let me journal my mail. It'll come up with a suggestion to where should this mail be journaled. So this is the sent mail that I'm journaling now, and it's automatically journaled under the case that I pointed. It's also journaled under the contact and the company. So I have again the journal on the company level, and then via the suggestion, it's put into the case where I wanted it to be. The reason for this suggestion feature is that we've had over the years a lot of questions from clients. Can you automatically journal all the relevant mails under a case or a project or whatever I'm working with? And yes, the answer is actually yes, it can be done. However, there is those problems. The problem is that people are not very good at using mails. They will reply to a mail on one subject, suddenly changing the subject to something completely different. If we have a certain setup of this mail thread is being journaled into a project, then suddenly you will have irrelevant mails coming into that specific project. Then you will have to set up rules and complex rules to make sure this is not happening. But usually when you start digging into to the need for these rules and asking the clients for what rules they have for archiving and when should it not be archived, it tends to get so complex so people think that, well, it's probably not worth the effort. Then we came up with the idea that if we had a kind of an intelligence that could look at what has happened in the past with the mails that's been sent and received and what cases have this person been assigned to, et cetera, then it might be able to help the user to journal in the right place. So that's why we've done it this way. Let's look at the final example about how you find something in your mail. Now we have the ability to what we call expand mode. We click on the mail tab and you will expand it and you will get a search window. Now, since I was standing on my specific company, I'm only looking at emails relating to this specific company. Could do the same at the case level or whatever elements in the modules I want. So if I start just making a simple search for the subject, then there is the result, of course. I can search for, I can use a number of filters: start date, end date, direction, the attachment. Direction meaning is it coming to me or from me, and who is it coming to or from. Also, I can look at my emails, those emails specifically for me. Pending emails is if you have a rule of some emails should be journaled specifically, then there's none here, but that would be then making it visible which emails has not been journaled yet. So this expand mode will make it easier to find mails, to filter mails, to monitor what's actually happening on this specific company or case. Right. Just to sum it up, WorkPoint 365 is a modular, spelling mistake, sorry, standard system in the cloud on WorkPoint, on Office 365 and SharePoint online. It's installed and ready to be used in less than an hour, in fact, for the out-of-the-box system. If you then want to add Email Manager 365, you can have the automatical generalization of all emails stored in a database in Azure. Makes it very easy to share mails, collaborate. You have no risk of losing any emails because they're copied to the cloud before they actually hit the Exchange server. Or sorry, when they hit the Exchange server before they hit the user inbox. So you eliminate the risk of human errors, and you will always have a full copy of every communication going in and out of your organization. I hope this has been of interest. If you want more information on this, there is a specific website talking about Email Manager 365 on workpoint365.com. You're also very welcome to email me, contact me for further questions. I'm happy to reply. Thank you very much.